present you the fourth edition of the public speaking contest.
Yes, choosing our candidates has been a hard work, but we finally have our 12 contestants of first and second lesson. We are sure that they are going to surprise you with their 2-minute speeches.
Of course they will. The topics of this year's are Think Different, Be Different for first of ESO, and Is graffiti art or vandalism for second of ESO.
Really interesting topics, Maria. Don't you think so? Now, let's get started with the first round of first ESO. A great applause for Luna López Muñoz.
Think different, be different. Better we help say that being different was better for us, because make you being ourselves. Good morning, members of the jury and audience. I'm Luna López Muñoz, and I hope you enjoy my speech. Nobody say what I'm going to say, but I think that everyone believes it. People who become famous for singing, acting, or dancing, they become famous for doing the thing that they want. They think differently. I believe all this because all the persons, all the famous, do the thing that they want to have more exit. What would be happening if we were all clones of each other? The same thoughts, the same attitudes, and the same bodies. All will be the same, and that couldn't be happen because the thing that makes you different makes you unique and special, and that is the most important thing. Imagine that we were all clones of each other. We all live in the same job, in the same place, we will all have the same job. All is the same, so this world is going to be very boring. I think all this because if not, this world is going to be we are going to be over and over again in the same place. So we are not going to be evolution. If we were all equal, we don't evolve, so we don't have any progress. Because we don't have any progress. We can improve computers, mobile phones, houses. Because if we go to the past, in the past all the houses were of rocks and wood. And if now are the houses like now, all the houses doesn't have any stability, so they falls down. So in conclusion, I call to everybody to do the thing that they want, because if we want to be different, we have to be different, and that's my argument. Thanks for listening to me.
Well done, Luna. You did it so well. Now, it's Elisei Nagorny's turn, representing first B class. A great applause for him.
Are you different according to the other people? Are you? Okay, can I repeat?
No.
Are you different according to the other people? Are you different from others? Hello, members of the jury and audience. My name is Elisei, and now I will tell you why we should know why different people is a good sign. Let's get started. Is being different bad? Of course, not. Researchers say that normally the different people become more successful and rich. From the other part, we have scientists that say that different people become more clever and unique. For example, let's take Alex Chu. He was a university student and he needed money to pay his studies. What he did is to create a webpage, home screen webpage. He sells pixels for very big money, and the other people like this idea and buy these pixels. In continuous, he earned more than $1 million by his originality and his intention of being different. Okay, is being different good? Of course, by being different, you can have better ideas and that don't have reference to the other ones. Also, you can imagine a world with 99% of the people that think different. It will be a world full of different ideas and theories. We have a lot of people that made us think different and be different. For example, the musicians made us think different about the music. Or let's take other example. For example, the politics. that made us think different about the making the world better. Or let's take, for example, the philosophers that have the different questions and make us think different about things. Or for us, let's take the architects that create great buildings and make us think different about the architecture. And according to my speech, we speak about why being different is good, why its benefits, its examples, and why different people are important for our world. This is all. Thank you for listening.
Don't worry, Leslie. You did it so well. Who is gonna be this one? Let's see. Nuria Yasa from first A class. A great applause for her.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Everyone in my grade got the same topic, which is to think and be different. Kind of ironic if you ask me. Nevertheless, today I'm not here to complain, but to speak on why we should think and be different. Let's get started. Has anyone ever told you to think outside the box? But what really is the box we are talking about? The box represents our visible constraints as well as our limitations, says bootcamp.ux. So, thinking outside the box equals thinking differently. But there's one minor inconvenience. What if everyone thought outside the box? Then the box would become something like a square donut, and it would be like a box with a hole in it. I don't know if you get the picture, but let's move on. About being different. It's more something teenagers will find more useful, because being different equals to being yourself. So here's an example. If everyone in your class, workspace, apartment is doing something but you don't feel like it, don't do it. It's your responsibility what you do and don't do. So you choose. Are you going to do what everyone does and not feel good about it, or do feel good about it? Or do what your heart tells you to. In conclusion, we could say that, according to what I've said, we could say that being different and thinking different is pretty cool and something we should do more often, yet sometimes not exaggerate with it. Well, by the way, I'm Nuria Yasa Corrado. That's the end of my speech. Thank you for listening.
Well done, Nuria. You did it so well. Now it's Maxime Lucenev's turn from first B class. A great applause for him.
Have you ever thought what can happen if you think way different from others? If not, now I'm going to tell you some other cases, and maybe you will rethink about it. Good morning, jury and audience. My name is Maxime Luceneve. I hope you will enjoy my speech. Let's get started. Firstly, the economy. Many people think how to get successful, but only a few of them can make the dream happen. And usually these people think way different from others, making them creative compared to other people. For example, Aaron Cruz, he was a mechanic. His hands were always dirty after his job, but one day he decided to make something that will clean his entire hands perfectly. And finally he did it. But one night he thought, what if I don't just add a face on it? And after this, his company about sponges with a face blew up and made $250 million. Secondly, the social benefit. Just imagine the world if everyone thinks the same. Anyone would have their perspective on the world. Fortunately, everyone can create something special like books, video games, paints, music, and much more, allowing people to inspire and enjoy those creations and make something new, or also change their perspective on a topic. Finally, how things different affect on politics. Everyone has their perspective on the best town to live. Someone thinks that it has to be modern, big, with a lot of nature, with big shopping center, etc., allowing to change the town in a better way, including all the opinions of the inhabitants. Also, by thinking different, you can be someone important in the world and change it, like Amadeus Wolfgang Mozart. He showed us that music can be useful for us. And for the last, how it's all, think different can make you successful. People can inspire and enjoy by listening, watching, reading people's creation, and it can change the world, which improves our world. And that's it.
Well done, Maxime. You did it so well. Now it's turn Marvais Lopez, but she isn't here. So a great applause for Sofía González Barros, first B class. Being different and being different is something that affects our society very much. You know it. Hello, members of the UN audience. My name is Sofia, and today I'm going to tell you 3 arguments. 1. Why is good being different and thinking different? Then the opposite, and finally, be different and think different is something that we see every day. Social media. Okay, let's get started. First, when is good being different and thinking different? One example is on the world of music. Singers have their own ideas and thoughts of their songs. That's why they're famous as their ways. Do you imagine a world with all the singers having the same look alike, same lyrics and same rhythms of their songs? Me neither. That's why if that happens, they will not engage the same amounts of money as they do being themselves and having their own creativity. That's why in this type of worlds like art, acting, and the example that I just said, is so important to be different and think different. It's something essential. Secondly, when it is not good, okay, in the worst. I think this is also something that affects us very much, and is affecting us very much. I think if we were able for a moment to think, we could put end to this situation and even more that are currently happening in our world. I think we should all come to an agreement and put this world do this world a better place. Okay, thirdly, the social media argument. When is good being different and thinking different in social media? This is in case of the social media content creators. They are in their case that amounts of money and be like famous because they're different and think different. They have their own ideas of the videos that they upload to the net. That's why they go that viral. Okay, do you agree with these 3 arguments? I do. That's all, and thanks for your attention. Great, Sofia. You did it so well.
Great performance from first of ESO, right? But now it's second of ESO turn. A great applause for our first contestant, Pablo Higgins Criado, representing second of ESO A.
Hello, members of the jury and audience. I am Pablo Higgins Criado, and I will start my speech by asking you a question. Have you ever looked at any graffiti? It's almost certain that you have. Graffiti, which became popular in the 70s, is a very different type of art style. It is the result of a drawing made by aerosol spray can. Aerosol can be sprayed in every kind of solid surface, and that's why graffiti is everywhere. It takes up every kind of forms: arts, boards, name tags, and not very nice interpretation. And that leads to the main question: is graffiti art or vandalism? This question is subjective, because among all the drawings, the intentions may vary. If we wanted to find an economic argument to defend graffiti, the most common answer would be that paint and art shops make profit by selling spray cans. But companies can also use graffiti as a way of advertisement. Many companies tried it, like Adidas, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and small individual businesses, and that makes their approach much closer to people. Graffiti has always been used to express common opinions, and it is perfect as a way of propaganda. It is clearly visible and easy to understand, and that's why in many countries like Russia or Cuba, graffiti was and is still used for propaganda. From a political point of view, this is legal, since self-expression is one of the basic human rights dictated by the United Nations. And finally, the social arguments. These ones are the most complex, difficult, and divisive, but it's most common for people to have various problems with it. First, graffiti is always done on public surfaces. That means that someone is the owner of that property. And most of the time, graffiti is done against their will. The law of property said that this is a minor damage, and depending on the damage, the sentence may go from community service up to 10 years of imprisonment. And secondly, it doesn't matter if a graffiti is done in someone's property or not. It mustn't be vulgar stuff. It is inappropriate and gives a bad image. So what conclusion do I take after all the points of view we've explored? Well, graffiti should always be used to make art and never inappropriate drawings, and with the permission of that property's owner. If not, it will be vandalism. Thanks for listening to my speech. I hope you liked it.
Great speech, Pablo. But now is Martina de la Cera's turn, representing second of SOB. A great applause for her.
What do you see here? You see a graphic piece of concrete, possibly made by some vandal, right? But what if I told you that what you're looking at is art, is history, and that it is an original piece of the reading world? Hello members of jury and audience, my name is Martina de la Cera, and today I'm going to talk about, is graffiti considered art or vandalism? Let's start. Firstly, how would it be considered socially? On the one hand, graffiti allows young people, some of them with social problems, express their protest and crimes of society anonymously. It allows them to visually show other people their art and views on social issues, challenging authority by applauding in public space. On the other hand, this way of using the spaces of the city to leave a mark as a brand that identifies them has a negative visual impact, muddying the urban landscape. Secondly, how would it be considered politically? The Berlin Wall is an example of how graffiti became a symbol of political protest, where crimes of society were engraved on the concrete walls separating the two Germanies, and is now considered one of the largest outdoor galleries in existence. According to Bradsky, a very famous graffiti artist, there is a thin line between graffiti as urban art and vandalism, and that is because much of it is done on private properties, train carriages, monuments, and public spaces that shouldn't be painted, making it a criminal act. Thirdly, how would it be considered economically? Professional models create more attractive environments in cities, generating positive economic impact on dreams and culture. For example, the John Lennon Wall in Prague. However, when they are known in automated spaces, it is a great essence for the economy, both for the cleaning of the graffiti spaces and the security to prevent them. Delphi spent 25 million euros in 2022 due to these acts of vandalism. In conclusion, from the beginning until today, street art has evolved, gaining complexity, improving the aesthetics of the city, as long as it is carved out in authorized spaces, but without losing its essence, social freedoms. What the media keep quiet about, the words sought out. Thank you very much for your attention.
Congratulations, Martina, you did it great. Now is second of SO A class turn. Now we have Samuel Sanchez Duran. Let's listen to him.
Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, Miguel Angel. These are some of the most known artists in history. If they were alive, what would they say about graffiti? Hello, members of the jury, I'm Samuel and today I'm going to talk about graffiti. Imagine you own a shop in the city center. It's going well and you are making money. But suddenly, you saw on a window a very offensive graffiti. You couldn't just keep it there because it will give a bad impression of your shop. So you must pay with your own money something that you didn't even ask for. By the way, according to Telemadrid, the fine for damaging the private property can reach up to 6,000 euros. Isn't that a too expensive punishment for a work of art? You may think that just removing graffiti cans and all problems are sorted out, but it isn't that easy. Because according to Motor Intelligence, the market of graffiti cans makes 18.54 billion of units each year, and it will get a lot of workers fired from their jobs. According to La Razón, only 25% of graffiti is vandalism in Spain, but we think that it's vandalism because most of the graffiti artists are just annoying teenagers that don't know what to do. But Aquara said that in other countries like Poland or Australia, there are places where people can do whatever graffiti they like. Places like Hoysel Lane in Australia or Vassau in Poland. In those places you can do whatever graffiti you like, but Speaking in politically correct terms, graffiti is a pure act of expression and art. So, graffiti is very important for us, but the law, society, or better said, the Ministry of Culture, must offer safe and creative places where people can express through graffiti pieces of art. Thank you for your attention.
Well done, Samuel. Now is Daniele Mauces, representing second of SOB. A great applause for him.
When you look at graffiti, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Do you enjoy observing graffiti? Good morning, everyone. I'm Daniele Maute, and I will talk about the debate of graffiti. Is it art or just plain vandalism? When you look at graffiti from an art perspective, it is very good. When you look at graffiti from that perspective, you see a burst of color on the streets. A powerful meaning is behind it. Not everyone can see it though. The walls are used as a canvas for a new generation of art. Some people like graffiti so much, in fact, that they pay professionals with years of experience to make graffiti for them. In fact, I've met some of those people in real life. But there are also the other side of people that think that graffiti is vandalism, a crime that ruins beautiful areas and costs a fortune to remove. These people despise graffiti and avoid it at all costs. The best way to solve this, in my opinion, is to have different areas where different laws are put upon graffiti, such as an area where artists could let loose and enjoy the art without having major consequences or starting debates, but also an area where graffiti is strictly prohibited for people who don't like seeing it plastered everywhere. One thing also to consider is that it very much depends on where you're making the graffiti. Making your own art on your own walls is fine, but doing it on random houses without permission should definitely be considered legal. But people should never assume that it's always vandalism when they see graffiti. Instead of assuming it's vandalism, they should maybe ask for if the person who is doing the graffiti is doing it in an appropriate place. In conclusion, there are people who like and don't like graffiti, so far as to think it's illegal. And the best way to solve this is to have different places for where graffiti is allowed and isn't, but also perhaps a graffiti section in some major galleries. Thank you for your attention.
Compliments, Daniele. Who's gonna be the next one? Let's see Ismael Gallo Aguilar, representing second of SOA. A great applause for him.
Have you realized that since the beginning of the human race, people started painting on the walls and it wasn't considered vandalism as nowadays? But why does this happen? Hello, members of the jury and audience. I'm Ismael Gallo Aguilar, and I do believe graffiti is definitely art. Don't you think so? Actually, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, graffiti is a random painting on public establishments and private properties. This is often considered vandalism by society, but in other cases is considered art, depending on the perspective seen. So to start with, what's the opinion of graffitis on many websites? Well, according to Abogado.com, graffiti is known as a criminal act because of the illegal paintings on public establishments or public properties. So, is graffiti vandalism as this website says? Well, on the other hand, Van Cess and the Boston University believe that graffiti is 100% art and a new form to express creativity for everyone. So, does graffiti affect people in their lives? Well, socially speaking, this could bring advantages or disadvantages. I remember a few years ago, a group of teens went to my father's factory to paint a graffiti on the main door. Fortunately, my father got them and he offered them to make a graffiti for our company. In that way, they will give them a second chance. This is a real example that shows us how not everyone has bad intentions. So, I do believe a good solution were to make a place where people could paint graffitis freely, like in other countries. For example, in New York City, there are guided visits on Bushwick, a neighborhood plenty of graffitis near Brooklyn. And finally, have you ever wondered how people erase graffitis? Well, this is our reality. According to ValenciaPlaza.com, cleaning graffitis from historical monuments and neighborhoods from Valencia could cost the government about 18,000 euros. Does this seem fair for you? In fact, some of that money comes from our taxes. And that's why it's so important that public organizations offer a more social measure for people to avoid this and to promote art and cultural expression. So don't forget what Phil says. I take advantage of what the city wastes. Thank you for your attention.
Ismael, well done, you did brilliant. Now, our last contestant. A great applause for Borja Valero Benitez from 2nd FESO B class. You're gonna do it great.
Up to you. Too many things to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Borja Valero Benitez, and today I am going to clarify if graffiti is art or vandalism. Graffiti, with its vibrant strokes and intricate designs, stands as a canvas for a complex debate. Followers consider it as a genuine form of providing individuals with a platform to articulate thoughts, emotions, and social critics. It mirrors the rebellion of avant-garde artists who challenged norms through history. Yet, on the other side, an opposing view pointing agrees that graffiti, particularly when unauthorized, embodies vandalism. It's seen as a transition of public and private spaces, disrupting visual harmony of our communities, and challenging the respect of property rights. Interestingly, some cities have sought middle ground, recognizing as graffiti as a legitimate of public art, by naming specific areas where artists can fully display their talents. These cities have transformed ordinary walls onto vibrant canvases, contributing to the cultural richness of our communities. An example will be Okuda on the walls of the building face of the Sorolla station in Valencia, or David de Limón in whole Valencia. I would consider it appropriate to reflect us on Picasso profound insight. Every act of creation is first an act of destruction. Within the layers of graffiti, we may discover not only destruction, but obscuration. Art sends us to find a delicate equilibrium between art and vandalism. The current graffiti master, Banksy, can give us some lessons about this. Who doesn't remember the famous action of Girl with Balloon? That self-destructed when they paid 1.2 million euros. What a sale the buyer had. Luckily, in a few years, it was revalued at 21.25 million euros. They renamed Love is in the Bin. Wow, unbelievable.
That's it.
Great performance from 1st and 2nd ESO, don't you think so?
Yes, now let's wait our juries to vote. They will soon announce the winners.